The whole idea for the catalog, Famous, came about because sometimes I have been pushed in front of the camera and in front of the public eye, and I have my moment, and I'm looking out at the crowds. It can be anywhere from 20 people to 200 people, depending on a show and a turnout. Sometimes I'm standing off stage or behind the curtain and I'm watching a friend of mine or someone perform, and I'm looking out at the sea of crowds, such as a concert, watching him perform, and I'm standing there looking at him while he's looking at the crowd, and I peek out and I just think, wow, how incredible that is. So what I want to do is I'm kind of taking the idea of, you're famous now, you're looking at what's going on, you're on stage, the spotlight's on you. The first piece we'll start off with is called One Seat Left. My manager and I love New York, and every time, usually for business while we're there, we'll always try to fit in a Broadway show. On more than one occasion, we've run into a circumstance where they say, I'm sorry, there's only one seat left. The funny thing about that comment to me is, if I was an actor or I was on stage and there was only one seat left and it was towards the front, I would always look at that one seat. I would just see that one empty seat and think, how strange, there's just one seat left. Here we have everyone, maybe they just finished their dinner at Sardi's, they've all packed in, they're dressed very nice, and there's one empty seat left, which is off to the left here. I put it that way because I didn't want to put it right in the middle of the painting because I didn't want your eye just staring at that empty seat. The whole idea is they're staring at you, you have their attention, but I like it there that you know there's an empty seat. In my mind, I see this kind of like on a column or like a pillar of a house on your way out for the evening, and you kind of, as you walk by, you're like looking at your crowd, your fans, because you're looking good. We all have those moments where we just look so good, we think, right now, I want to be photographed. Most of the time we don't, but sometimes we do. The next image we have is called Opening Night. It's done in the same vein, and it was literally done right after I finished painting One Seat Left. I did this real little sample painting of all these faces staring at me, and it actually had started out as kind of a warm-up painting to get into a kind of a groove after taking a break from painting. I wanted to get back into a mode, so I just sketched out all these little faces and I just started painting them, and it was sitting off to the side, and I really liked the way when I'd come sit down, I mean, it sounds corny, but I liked the way it made me feel. I would look at it, it would make me kind of laugh, and I'd be like, the star is here. So I thought, man, I'm gonna take this idea and make it my next whole theme for my next release and let you take it on. So I did this one, which is called Opening Night. I pictured more of kind of an opera or a ballet or a black tie affair. I wanted it to feel a little more classy, a little more sophisticated. So it has a little bit more panache to it. Now we come to the third image in the release, which is probably one of my top 10 favorite paintings of all time. I had so much fun painting this. It actually started out similar to the last one where it was a small painting, and I thought I gotta do this on a bigger scale, but I gotta add another element to it, which I'll tell you about in a minute. Every artist has his way of painting and his style and his mode, and the way I get a lot of ideas is a conversation with people, or I hear someone in a night out say a certain group of words. Well, we had one of the rare night out where I overindulged. The next morning waking up in the hotel was like, I don't remember much, and the guy says, oh, I don't know what happened last night. All I can remember was, and just those words, his sentence, I couldn't tell you what he said after that, but those words stuck in my mind. And it's basically the way I feel on a great night, everyone can remember. Just bits and pieces of faces and eyes and mouths and noses and everyone together, and you know, a lot of smiles, a lot of teeth. And sticking in with the famous theme, behind us is maybe camera flashes, or they may be bar lights and just restaurant lights. Now, onto the special feature. Why? This painting will make you smile. I told you earlier, there's something special about this painting. I told you it's gonna be your favorite painting, and I'll tell you why. It's the only painting in the world that's smiling back at you. Now, this brings us to our fourth limited edition in the Famous collection. Every artist has that painting they want to go back and revisit. Generally, when I'm done painting a piece, I'm done with it. I've enjoyed that moment, I've soaked it in, I've put every bit of emotion that I can onto the canvas, and it's there and it's now yours. But every so often we have one that we feel like we could do it again. Artists throughout history, if you look at your history books, they're always going to maybe revisit a painting that they did 10, 20, 30 years ago. And back in 98, 99, I did a painting called Girl Party. And that was kind of like a hit song for me, if you will. It really kind of projected me and threw me up on the map, and I did really great with it. I still get comments from people who come up to me and they say, hey, you know, women come up and say, oh, I just love that painting. It was me and my girlfriends. Each one of us are identified in the painting, and that makes me feel really good because I feel like I really nailed it at that time. That piece was kind of like, that's women being famous. They're together, they're ready for the camera, they're ready for lights, action. So here we have Girl Party Reunion. You'll notice from my fans from way back watching this will know the original Girl Party had 8 members. But as everyone knows, any group of girls together that long, some are falling off that bandwagon. And now we come to the 5th and final limited edition in the Famous catalog. What a better way to wrap up Famous than the thing that makes you famous, action sticks. Everything used to be on film, so the old boxing matches, you would always see them on the side cranking away and looking at it. Any of the news stories that would happen, you would see them with their crank and the sticks, and you'd always see an embankment of hundreds of these cameras up there on, and just almost an army, if you will, standing on a horizon of these sticks. I almost gave them a social life here. They're all kind of chatting with each other and looking and getting ready to film, and you know, I have them where they're kicked at different angles and set around, and you've got your confident ones, you've got your curious ones, you know, and only 2 times in my career have I done a painting based on a subject matter that's anything other than social life people involved. I did one a long time ago called Just Shoes, and it was just about all type of shoes that guys wear at night. I don't want to tell you how that one came about. And what better way to wrap up this piece than with action sticks, the 5th and final piece in my new limited edition release. I hope you enjoyed the 5 stories that I've told you, and I hope you enjoyed the work. I'd love to see you at the next show, so come on up, say hello, and tell me what I should paint next. Be safe out there. How was that?
You've done it 10 times, dude.
Oh, you're killing me. Cut.